Hagar specifically. Hagar asked for it, and I cannot say no to Hagar, especially when she asks so nicely in English. All right. Let's go. So before I get into exactly what the course is about, to give you guys a general idea about what we're going to do, let's answer some of the questions that I've gotten here. And someone asked if it's useful for IELTS test or shouldn't take separate one conversation. So basically, my conversation course is production based or production focused. So I will work on your language as a whole, as like a skill in general, to make sure that you're capable of producing the language, of expressing yourself in English, of picking up habits to improve your general skill, right? The IELTS speaking exam itself is something that you need to pick up techniques for and then keep applying. I'm going to provide you with the space that you need to help you become more comfortable with the language. And I'm going to assign you assignments and other tasks that will help you not only get more language, but also to produce it. And of course, this affects your IELTS band, because the more comfortable you are in a conversation or when answering questions, the better you're going to be able to reach the results faster and apply the techniques that you learned about IELTS easier, right? I hope you can hear me now, Nada. All right, Ahmad, take care of yourself. Be safe. I hope to see you soon, inshallah. How to improve my speaking skills by listening to many conversations or taking. Okay, so this is something that I've actually talked a lot with my students, and I think it makes sense, right? Speaking is a skill. It's kind of, unfortunately, it's kind of like a sport, kind of like swimming. So it's not okay, or it's not good for you to be able to know things theoretically without actually applying them. So you can memorize all the vocabulary there is in a dictionary. You can memorize all the tips and tricks that you're supposed to apply. But if you don't actually get into the water and do it yourself, it's forever going to take a lot of effort from you, and it's going to take a lot of time for you to improve your speaking skill. So speaking skill, and I say this all the time because I really want you to understand this, do not judge yourself too hard about the development of your speaking skill. The speaking skill in any language, not just English, in any language that you're learning, the speaking skill is the hardest skill to develop. Why? Because it cannot be done alone. You can memorize, you can record yourself, you can talk to yourself, and that's wonderful. That's great. It's going to help you a lot. However, the best thing that you can do to improve your speaking is to speak. You actually have to physically do it yourself. So, Abdurrahman, to answer your question, no, it is not a great idea to just listen to conversations. What you can do is you can listen to context. So listen to things that are done in English, series, movies. I prefer series. I highly recommend series, and then get into a conversation yourself. All right. But watching two people converse can only get you so far. It will not get you very far, unfortunately. You have to actually do it yourself. Okay. What do you need to start? Ahmed, actually, to long story short, basically, if you are excited to join our conversation course, this is how. Feel free to take a screenshot, and this is basically it. Miss Muhga, the glorious Miss Muhga, is the human that is in charge of coordinating my times and schedules for my classes and my sessions that we talked about a minute ago, about what exactly we do in the session regarding providing space for you to practice your language and for me to correct them and to give you better expressions to further improve how you express yourself. So just take a screenshot of that and make sure that you message Ms. Mocha. What she will do is she will tell you about the times that are available, and she's going to send you a message with my number in it and some questions for you to ask, for you to answer. You guys are then going to contact me with a voice note answering these questions in as much detail as possible. Please make sure the voice notes are in a quiet area so that I can hear you. And accordingly, I will give you some feedback and decide what your level is. And just a disclaimer, I am only evaluating or assessing your speaking skill. All right. So you can be an amazing writer, but maybe your speaking isn't up to par. So we are going to start where you need to be placed. After that, Miss Mocha is going to like further discuss the times and the dates and the starting date and all of that other wonderful logistical stuff that make me lose my mind. Right? How to start talking to someone and breaking the ice. Ooh, Amira, that's a very good question. So it depends on what the context is. So if you are like, I think it was Nada, who is into real estate, finding a proper icebreaker that further makes the client feel comfortable is always the best way to go. However, there's something in English we call small talk. Small talk is the basic 1, 2, 3 questions that you ask someone that you've met for the first time. So small talk, things that are or topics that are considered small talk, for example, would be the weather, your weekend. We don't go far into family. We might talk hobbies, interests, right? And small talk is used, for example, when you go to a friend's birthday party and you meet someone for the first time and you don't know what to say. So, hi, what do you think of the weather in Egypt? Right? So small talk is the best way to break the ice with someone that you don't know, so that there's like a small stepping stone. And this is also something that we do in my course a lot. The conversation course in general, my dear Isra, you have to be an intermediate and above. So I have the intermediate level divided into 3 parts. We've got intermediate, upper intermediate, and then 2 parts, and then we've got the last one is advanced. Those are the 3 levels that I teach. The material implementation course, seen IELTS course in listening and speaking. Actually, I think you are Ola. I think your name is Ola. The material that in the conversation is something I like to call student based. So depending on what my students' levels are, I customize their material. So if I have a group of very shy people, like my wonderful Iman, for example, or very cute, expressive people, like the glorious, wonderful Asma, what I will do is I will provide some things to push you out of your comfort zone. And if you have attended a course with me, you know that I'm an angel. So I will push you very hard because that's the number one thing that I always work on, which is confidence and comfortable. You got to be both confident and comfortable when you are having a discussion in English. And that is the number one thing that I work on with you guys in my course. If the number of participating higher like this during all the course? No, my dear Amal, of course not. Of course not. We have a range for the students in the class, and that range is between 15 to 20. But hopefully, inshallah, I do not allow more than that. And that is just to make sure that we have speaking partners. Because like I said before, speaking is a skill that cannot be done on your own. And no matter what I can teach you, no matter what I can say, and no matter how hard I push you, you actually have to do it yourself. All right? Exactly, Mahmoud. The only way to do it is to do it. And it sounds so Italian, but that's how it is. Great. All right, Abdurrahman, I think you want, what do you mean things for you to listen to? Do you mean like series? Series and movies, the only thing that you need to be focusing on with series and movies is your interest in them. So this is something that a lot of people are always surprised about when I mention this, but this is how English or language works, okay? If I have something very difficult, or if I have something that I'm watching and I don't know how to watch the series yet, right? And I tell you, and Miss Aya tells you, yeah, no more English subtitles. The first thing that's going to happen is هتزهق وهتحس إنك قطش في الزفة, right? I don't want this. So what I want is for you to make sure that you're watching something you like, right? When I like the story, when I like the events, I will not feel very scared. I will not feel anxious. My ears will be open. I will feel more comfortable and I will acquire the language. So if you want me to tell you the best thing that you can watch, Abdurrahman, the first thing I'm going to ask you, what genre do you like? So for example, some people are evil, like me. We like crime. We like Sherlock Holmes. We like serial killers. I don't like blood, but I like the mystery. I like the crime, right? So these are things that I like a lot. Some people are romantic, so they will like romantic series. and so on and so forth. Depending on what your interests are, you choose the series that you want. Of course, you tell me the genre, I give you names. We're both happy. You watch it and I don't kill you. Mona, you are amazing, wallah. With the grammar, I try fixed, but I can't. All right, Nirmeen. See, the grammar mistakes can happen because of one of two reasons. One, you're thinking in Arabic and you're literal translating, so you have problems with your structure and your prepositions. Or the other is that you're focusing too much on the vocabulary to use. So when you're speaking, you only use words, but you don't give sentences. So both of those problems can happen, and both of them had different ways to tackle them or to solve them. The thinking in Arabic part means that you need to start thinking in English, and the best way to do this is to watch series without subtitles. So you can focus on the story and you can link the story with what you're hearing and what you're seeing, not with the vocabulary that you've memorized. Yes? Number two, the focusing on not being able to give sentences because you're focusing on the words. The best way to fix that would probably be reading. So I might ask you to watch things with subtitles if you don't have time to read, or I will ask you to read a book and I will ask you to summarize it. Try these two techniques, Nirmin. These techniques are not about getting English. They're about using English. When I watch, I am watching how things or how English is being used, spoken, and I'm listening to it. And when I'm reading, I am seeing with my own eyes how English is being used in sentences. So in both cases, it's about usage, not about just give me some more vocabulary. I want more. Because alhamdulillah, I think everyone is very smart, especially in Egypt, and we memorized language with our eyes. We didn't use it as a tool. We use it as an end. Do we fill the form? Just contacting Miss Mocha. Just contact Miss Mocha, Shema. Once you contact her, oh, there you go. She sent her link in the chat, by the way. Ms. Mohaga, if you can send it again, that would be amazing. Click on the link and she will give you guys details. Mawadda, if you stop when you're speaking, or that's a very good question, actually. It's not about words. So if I'm, okay, you guys tell me. So we're in the middle of a conversation, right? We're having a conversation. And I stop in the middle. I pause. I take a long time to speak. But when you're speaking to me, I understand you. So do you think this is because I don't have vocabulary? I don't have words? Or is it because I'm not comfortable or I don't have practice? So is it a lack of language or a lack of practice? They are two very different things. If you said it is lack of practice, you are correct. If I can speak Mawadda and I can understand, then I have language. But if I am pausing, it means that I am not practicing enough. Maybe I am uncomfortable. Maybe I didn't hear things correctly. Maybe I, as a person, I am kind of shy. Maybe I have not really practiced speaking to another person in this language. So overall, the skill itself is not practiced enough. Okay? So that is the only solution, Madda. If you can speak, but you feel shy, or if you stop, or if you pause, maybe it is not because you lack the language, it's because you lack practice. The questions, Mariam, are with Miss Muhga. Once you contact her, she will let you know. British or American accent if I want to take IELTS. Abdurrahman, disclaimer, I don't know if you've started these yet with Dr. Khalil or not, but the IELTS listening exams have every accent. You're going to be listening to Asian accents, to African accents, to Indian accents, to British accents. It's quite international now. The only thing that the accent insuates or kind of emphasizes is the culture. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So if your plans are to travel after the IELTS, inshallah, you plan, Abdurrahman, to go to the UK, then definitely listen to British series. It'll make your life much easier when you move there. If you plan on going to the US, on the other hand, then stick to American. And I'm not saying this because I have an American accent or that American English is blah, 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 but Hollywood is so much better. I'm sorry, Dr. Khalid, don't kill me. Hollywood is so much more interesting. Even Moga thinks so. Aya, yes, my dear, I believe I've answered this question before. We've got a range of 15 to 20 students in the class. We do not go over that, and the range is always in the middle-ish. The higher the level, the less. And yes, it will be online. You guys get to have no excuses to not miss my sessions. Ella, you're adorable. Thank you. How to stop thinking in Arabic. Abdurrahman, basically, to stop thinking in Arabic, you need to build a new connection in English. So we memorized language. This is why I say no Arabic, by the way. This is why. When I learn English and I connect it to Arabic and I have them both hand in hand, when I try to remember anything, I will remember the Arabic and then go to the English. What we need to do is build a new connection. We need to start watching things and build the meaning with English directly. Not عايز اقول جعان. Okay, so جعان, and then I'm going to think of جعان in English is hungry. No. We are going to change this equation. I'm hungry means I'm hungry. How? I feel hungry. So what comes to my mind is hungry. Not جعان الأول. Yeah? All right. Next one. Let's see. How to improve my speaking for IELTS. Mariam, I do believe Dr. Khalil sends you guys a lot of speaking audios and a lot of things. If you want to speak, you listen. If you want to write, you read. C'est la vie. Yes? Less than a month means, Mariam, that you have a lot to do. Less than a month means that you need to be, this is how I worked on my language, by the way. A lot of people always ask me how my English is still intact or it's still alive. It's because I listen, I read, I speak, I breathe in English every day. Every day. Asma, like when you start watching an English movie, you choose Pride and Prejudice. Like it's an old English movie written by an amazing author with show-off skills, with complex structure. Of course, it's going to feel a little bit intimidating, but don't stop there. I promise. Once you finish the first movie, the second is very easy. And then the third is even easier. The fourth is better. And it gets easier with time, I promise. To be fluent in English, but I need to be. Sarah, there's no such thing as impossible. Wallah, the beautiful thing about languages is that it's not hard. It's not. It just needs time. And just like me and Iman were talking earlier, when you want a specific skill to be developed, dedicate time to that skill. So you want to be fluent, babe. Start making time for you to watch things in English, no subtitles, watch things that you're interested in, and attend a lot of speaking things. So speaking exams, speaking conversation courses. Find a speaking partner. Go to Mu'izz Street and start meeting native speakers and speak. That's the way to do it. It's not hard. It just needs time. Thank you so much, Iman. I'm not... yes, exactly. The confidence is a very, very big problem. Watching Luther? The Luther is Lucifer? I'm not sure. Have more information. Oh, Marwa, that's a very good point. So having information on the topic itself is sure. However, stating your opinion on this topic can always be something that you can count on. So, for example, chocolate. I'm not a doctor. I don't know for sure what the statistics are on antioxidants for dark chocolate and if they can fight cancer, right? I don't know this, but I can say that I've tasted chocolate. I'm not a very big fan. I don't like it very much. I can say that I've read 1 or 2 articles about chocolate, but I'm not required to give a report or statistical research on whether or not chocolate can prevent you from getting cancer, right? So don't think about it too much, Marwa. Think about your opinion, expressing your thoughts, but have problems with vocabs, grammar, and translating in Arabic in my mind. Now that depends on how much English you're listening to. So working with Americans is wonderful. That's great for your speaking, for your production. But what are you doing for input? Are you still watching Musalsalat Ramadan? If you are, that's the problem. I totally agree. Depending on your character is great, which is why I'm an angel and I push you out of your comfort zone, whether you like it or not. Samah, actually, if you ask Miss Mohga about classes for children, she might let you know. I personally do not teach children, But I'm sure there is a children's course, and I believe there's also a children's diploma. Just ask Miss Mohaga as well. She is the senior. Sorry, Miss Mohaga. And she will let you know, or at least direct you in the right direction. Does writing stories improve my language? Yes. All right. Writing stories is a wonderful thing to improve your grammar and improve your vocabulary, especially if you're reading, Malik, and you're applying what you're reading. However, does it improve your speaking? Nope. And you are Ale. Sorry, Ale. I didn't know. In English, it's written Ale or Ale. They're the same thing. I'm sorry, man. How can I send you messages or ask you questions? You can confidently 100% text Miss Mohga. She just sent it again. Check the link, Malik, and she will direct you my way, and I'm going to be able to help you. Are there any online? Yes, of course, Haytham. So, Dr. Haytham, what happens is after you contact the lovely Miss Mohga, she will send you guys some questions and my number. You are then going to take my number and then message me a voice note on WhatsApp answering these questions. And you are going to be as detailed as possible, please. When you are answering the questions, I think there are about 3 or 4 questions. Answer them in as much detail as possible. After you do so, what I need from you is to be in a very quiet area. So I know that it's hard and people are busy, but it's very hard for me to really hear everyone when you're in transportation, right? So let's not do that. Let's not kill each other's ears. Kindly be in a quiet area. It's just 2 minutes long. And when you're answering, like I said, be as detailed as possible. The more detailed you are, the easier it will be, and the more accurate my assessment will be of your speaking skill. Again, disclaimer, it's a speaking skill. That is what I'm measuring. I'm not measuring your whole package of English. However, I promise to help as much as I can once you're in my course. Why do I did do a podcast for some time. Ala, you're making me reminisce about like the wonderful times of being on a podcast. It was about mental health. It was one of the best times of my life. Ghada, answering questions from your point of view are basically the best thing that you can do to help yourself feel more confident or feel more comfortable, I should say. So don't think about answering a question that's, for example, like, are we talking about speaking? Like, I think you're talking about the speaking part, right? So if I ask you about, I gave an example about chocolate, well, I did. But so if someone asks you, Ghada, for example, about the latest iPhone, right? And you have no information about the latest iPhone and you don't know what the features are, you don't know anything about it. What are you going to do? You're going to state so and state your opinion on it as much as possible. Further details about how to pass the speaking IELTS exam, however, is something that Dr. Khalil probably has talked about a lot. Something that I'm pretty sure that you guys should know this, that IELTS is not just about your English. It will never be just about your English. It is, in fact, a business. And it is something that you need to, I don't want to say study for, but it is like very quick. It's very fast paced and it's quite evil. So the idea is that you guys kind of have to take all those tips and tricks into consideration. They are the fastest way to get you the band that you want because it is a business. It is not about your language. Yes, Sarah, it is. The messages are sent to me, my dear, so that I can see everyone and it's easier for me to keep track. If made new pet link here. Thank you, Ala. It's my honor, my friend. I look forward to meeting you soon. Learn formal English or informal English. Formal English is used for business English and for emails and writing. My conversation course is a mix of both. So you're going to be speaking formally to coworkers, colleagues, and managers, but you are encouraged to informally speak English so that there is no psychological barrier between you and the language. If you listen to English and you understand it, but you cannot speak, means that you are lacking practice, samah or samah. If you are not capable of understanding, then sure. That may mean that there's something wrong with the amount of data that you have. In Arabic talk no to understand this my problem. I don't understand, Abdurrahman. Thinking in Arabic, we just talked about this is normal. It's because of how we learn the language, and to fix it, we have to change the equation. Listen, I cannot listen to anything. What do you mean, Sarah? Yahya and Iman, go ahead and send me your questions on the chat, please, so that we can move on to the next part. I want to tell you guys about my course. Need more practice. Samah, you need more practice, my dear. If you are not having any trouble when you're listening to, or if you're watching a movie or watching a series and there's no problems, like you don't feel like you're missing out on anything, you don't feel like it's boring, you don't feel like you're missing an important piece of the story, then your listening is good. If you're listening and you're still struggling to catch everything that is being said, then then that is the problem. Can you guys not hear me? Sara, you can't hear me? Guys, can you hear me? Oh no, don't tell me I've been talking this whole time. No one can hear me. Arwa, thank you. All right, so all right, Sara, I think there's an issue on your end, my dear. Okay, if you can please contact Sara. I think she's got some questions, but she cannot hear me. Her name is Sara Yakut. Let's see. May you recommend a book to learn the American accent? Let's see, Reem, there's something wrong with that question. So you want me to recommend a book to help you with your pronunciation? That doesn't work that way. However, there are a lot of series and movies and podcasts that can help you with practicing the accent. Can I speak? I felt now like TOEFL writing and speaking. What do you mean TOEFL writing and speaking, my dear? Haytham, for conversation or for speaking skills, what I count on mostly are books that you can find interesting and that are rich in chunks and clusters and expressions. And unfortunately, most new novels have these expressions that are very common in slang English, which is the best way to help you build connections faster in English. I think she does, Mahmoud, yes. I say at the end, I face a problem which is including or ending writing. Please, how to solve that problem. Writing, Yahya, means that you need to read. The accent itself means pronunciation, then you cannot learn pronunciation from a book. I know that a lot of people take phonetics in order to work on their pronunciation, and I highly disagree with this. I know, shoot me now, but still. I feel like if you want to improve your pronunciation, you actually have to listen and speak. Reading is not going to help. Voice of America is brilliant, Mahmoud. Yes, it's a very nice, they have some nice videos on YouTube as well, other than the website itself. There's also Advanced English, there's Up English. These are very good sites as well. Okay, so pronunciation of English, Arim, means that there are some specific words or sounds that must be pronounced correctly, like the TH, the R, the CH, the D, so on and so forth. However, accents, the accent itself is influenced by the culture. So depending on the culture of the country and how things happened there, this develops or imprints on the accent. So the way the British accent is mostly because of the culture that is there, and you will find some differences in their vocabulary as well, which is why this is a great way for you to manage what exactly it is that you said, so that you can listen back to it and see where the differences happened. Haytham, so yeah, what I mean is that in conversation courses or in speaking courses, when you're working on your language as a whole, as a skill, so that when you meet someone, you can speak with them comfortably, the best thing that I feel like if you're going to read, the best thing to read are novels and things that you find interesting. So if you like self-development books, go for it. If you like psychology, go for it. However, reading the most common words used in the English language, I don't feel it will be very beneficial to your fluency, to your speaking skill. It will be great maybe for your vocabulary for a short period of time, but I still doubt it will be of use for you to use it on the long run. The most useful Ottawa is according to where you're going, my dear. If you're going to the UK, probably the British accent. If you're going to the US, I highly recommend American. All right, so just a quick insight on, because like I know that they're going to kick me out very soon. The conversation course that I give is divided into two parts. Remember how I mentioned that speaking is a skill in and of itself? That's what we're going to be working on. My number one goal, regardless of your level, is confidence and working on how comfortable you are with the language and hearing it and in speaking it. We also work on fluency, which is a plus, and we then work on accuracy in terms of the mistakes that you make that are fatal to the message that you are trying to deliver. Oxford Bookworm Library. Ooh, definitely hate them. Definitely. And I also recommend Google search. Talking to myself, improving or changing my talking word. Yes, talking to yourself, Yahya, is a great way to kind of get yourself comfortable with the idea of words and English coming out of your mouth. So do so in front of a mirror, and if you can do it in a video, that's even better. But a lot of people take this as like an initial step to hear themselves speaking in English. So go for it. Just start. All right. We've talked about this. The topics that I have or that we have in the intermediate course are as follows. These are according to the CEFR, or the Common European Framework, which is the basic way we measure languages. And they are up for changes. Like it depends on the group that I'm with, and if we agree on a different topic that you guys want to discuss, that's fine. The only thing that I want you to remember about topics in my sessions or in my courses is that I'm not about how many topics we cover. It's about how comfortable you are with these topics. Not comfortable, or people are still making mistakes, or if people are not expressing themselves well, probably I will add another session and I will give more things to talk about English, about food, sorry. Please tell me that the internet is okay. All right. All right, moving on. Look at numbers as much as I do look at skills. My goal is to make sure that this person is capable of having a discussion or conversation around this topic, right? I don't care if we have 2 topics, 3 topics, and it lasts the amount of the course. But for me, what matters is that you're capable of actually doing this speech. Fortunately, I'm not going anywhere. Common accent work remotely. What do you recommend for me? Ottawa, I think the most common these days is American because of Hollywood. Yay. Movies and series. So everyone can understand an American accent. British is a bit harder to master due to the fact that the sheer volumes of British media and content are not as much as Hollywood. I think Hollywood is the biggest, but if you look, I'm sure it's there as well. So maybe for you, Ottawa, what I would do if I were you would be to choose something that I'm comfortable with and I lean towards a little bit more so that it won't sound fake. IELTS, Amira, is good for you if you plan on taking the IELTS, yes. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher, if you're a student, if you are looking to take an IELTS course, if you're looking to take an IELTS exam, yes, take an IELTS course. Do not risk taking the exam without preparation. I don't teach IELTS, by the way, but I'm telling you right now that the IELTS exam or certificate, it is not about your language. It is about time management, skills, exam skills and techniques, and it is a business. So they are looking for keywords, key markers that will help them decide and assess your band as quickly as possible. So yes, Amira, if you are looking to take the IELTS certificate, IELTS preparation is a no-brainer. Don't even think about it. Take it. All right, so my course, back to my course, the conversation course, itself, me, we've got 2 sessions a week for 5 weeks. You get to hang out with me for 2 hours in 2 sessions. So that's 4 hours a week. And it's going to be for 5 weeks. So we have 10 sessions together. Each session is 2 hours. And yes, of course, there's no Arabic. And yes, of course, I'm going to push you to speak in English, as I mentioned before. And my goal is to get you speaking as much as possible, correcting your language and getting you to have the space to use it. Other than the 2 sessions that you are going to have with me and the assignments that I'm going to give you as well, which will be language focused, just so we're clear, I've got some lovely coordinators with me, starting with Miss Mohga, who is sending you guys all of the links on the chat right now so that you can message her or text her if you're interested to join my course. And then we have a daily coordinator, which is Miss Umnaya. The daily coordinator basically sends you guys BBC videos, 6-minute English videos. And what you're going to do is you're going to watch the video. You're going to answer the question that Miss Umnaya has sent you. And on that group, you are going to send a voice message of 1 minute answering this question. Daily voice notes are not to be written. And I will talk about this in my first session, inshallah, when you join me. So we've got daily voice notes. That's number 1. Every day, except for, I think, 1 or 2 days, which are off. The rest of the days, you guys record a voice note, 1 minute, answering a question. Miss Umnaya gives you feedback on that 1 minute and tells you where your mistakes are. Then we've got 2 weekly things that we have with 2 other wonderful coordinators. We have a weekly voice note coordinator, which is the second part of the IELTS speaking exam, where she will give you a topic for discussion, and in private, you will send her a 2-minute voice note discussing this topic that she has given you. After you have sent it, she will give you feedback on this voice note. So again, we've got 1 daily voice note, which happens every day. We've got 1 weekly voice note, which happens every week. And the last part is a weekly examophone. A weekly examophone is basically a conversation over the phone between you and the coordinator, talking about a specific topic that we have discussed before. And after you have finished the call, it's about 15 minutes long, 15 minutes, 10 to 15, around such. She gives you or sends you a voice note after the call, giving you feedback on what happened during the call. All right. I think, any questions so far? Are we good? Yes? Are we alive? Alhamdulillah. All right. We've got a couple of WhatsApp groups that help us manage all this information. We've got the discussion and we've got the material group. The material group is where all of the messages with the links, with the tasks that I'm going to send, and whatever we do in the session, I'm going to send there as well. The session is, the first 2 sessions, I believe, are recorded, mandatory. However, sometimes it will be recorded and sometimes it will not be. And that is because I need you to attend. Not attending the course will result in you not practicing. And you not practicing will mean that you are not improving. And that means I will cry. So to avoid me crying, which is more important, you are not allowed to be absent. Fair? Summer, my dear, please feel free to send your question on the chat. Reem, here's the thing. The only one rule that you need to remember about pronunciation is that we can have rules, but there will be equally the same amount of exceptions. So sometimes we call something called a flipped T, with the T between the 2 vowel sounds. Water, right? We call it the flipped T. And though this is a thing, sure, a lot of people say water. A lot of people say interesting. Some people are going to say internet, right? But the one thing that you need to know is that there are always exceptions. The best way for you to pick up the correct pronunciation and not sound fake or not make it too difficult for you to remember and for you to apply naturally, you need to listen to it being used. There is no way around it. You can memorize all of the rules, but 1, you may or may not remember them. 2, when you're applying them, it may or may not be an exception. So the best way to make sure that you are not destroying the fun out of the language and that you are not ruining it is for you to watch and listen to things and hear it being used naturally in correct context so that when you are recalling it or when you are trying to apply it, you apply it in a similar manner. Abdul, contact Miss Mohga. I think she just sent her link. She can send it again. Please, Miss Mohga, send it again. Start. Will it take part during Ramadan? Nada, we are working very hard not to have it in Ramadan so that everyone has time for Taraweeh and prayers and worshiping God and all of that. So we're hopefully going to be starting very soon, inshallah, so that we can finish before Ramadan. Also, if we do get into Ramadan, it's not a really good idea because if we go into Ramadan and then nobody attends or someone is absent, I mean, because of Taraweeh, or someone doesn't do their homework or their assignments, like watching a movie or a series that I ask you to do, if you don't do it, I most probably will kill you. So Miss Mohka made me promise not to kill anybody. So we're going to work our best to get English done. So yes, time is limited and numbers are limited because I do not accept more than 20 people in my class. So yeah, Miss Mohga has sent the link. She's probably going to send it again. And hopefully, inshallah, we are going to start very soon because I want to finish before Ramadan. Joseph, no worries. It's okay that you joined late. Better late than never. We're actually wrapping up before they kick me out. But long story short, I teach a conversation course. It is production based and it focuses on you using your language and me correcting it and enhancing it, helping you use it a little bit better. The level that you need to join the course has to be minimum intermediate. However, you are going to be given questions to answer. So I can give you an assessment, and then accordingly, we will decide which level you are in and what is the best course for you. Oh, Arwa, thank you. I am very cute, I know. Course to be fluent and apply for a job? Yes, I recommend conversation in general if you are looking to develop your language skills or your speaking skills per se. It's always great to have a very nice area for you to express your ideas and your points of views to enable you to know where exactly it is that you're having struggles with. And usually like 99% of the time, it is about confidence and it's about your relationship with the language. And so once you fix that, language itself becomes easier and the language learning journey becomes easier because you no longer have a barrier stopping you from there. You're very welcome, Joseph. I look forward to seeing you. All right, Nada, thank you so much for stopping by. Yes, Muhammad, but this is not a course. This is just me introducing my course. So no worries. B2, B1 plus. So around B1 to B2, Dr. Haytham. All right. About do you mean the assessment, Nirmeen? The assessment is with Miss Mohga right there. If you can kindly click on her link, she will give you the questions. These questions are for you to look at and then go to my number and send me a voice note answering these questions in as much detail as possible. Please. Please make sure that you try to give me as much detail as possible so that it'll be easier for me to put you in the right group at the right times. So yeah, we've discussed our course and inshallah, I look forward to seeing you guys there. Hopefully, inshallah. Miss Mohga has sent her number on the chat. However, if you don't already have it, here is her number as well on the screen. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It was a pleasure. And Sarah, I hope your sister managed to come in and we'll see. All right. Be more easy when we start. It will be easier when you start, yes, and it will be less, of course. I will not have 100 students in my class. Never gonna happen. Record the session today. How can I get it? Please ask Miss Mohga. If you guys are curious to get the recording for the session, please go ahead and message Miss Mohga right now, and she will send you all the details, all the sessions, and all of that. She's still in the waiting list, sir? No way. That's weird. I've admitted like 1,000 people since then. Well, hopefully, inshallah, she gets a chance to see the recording, and then I'll see both of you guys in the course, inshallah. Here's the thing, Mona. Speaking and writing and reading are like very different skills. skills. And in order to work on them, they come in different packages as well. So let me help Nagila right there. There we go. So Mona, we need to figure out where the problem is, my dear. How about you take my number from Miss Mohga and we can further discuss what's going on. How does that sound? The time of the course, Marwa, are 2 days a week, 2 hours a session. So it will be either Sundays and Wednesdays or Mondays and Thursdays. And usually I have them starting 6 p.m. Depending on your level, you will know which one you're going to go. Turkey, just text Miss Mohga and she'll tell you what we can do. Muhammad, don't forget to text Miss Mohga. She's right there. She sent it in a lot. Mona, don't forget. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to take the link. If you haven't, it's in the Zoom chat. Click on it. And inshallah, I hopefully hope to see you guys all in my course, inshallah. Be safe, be nice, and stay warm in this wonderful weather. Bye, everybody.